know what's wild? We live in a world that glorifies being busy, always hustling, always grinding. But what if I told you that the best decision you could make today is to do absolutely nothing? Yeah, you heard me right. Doing nothing might just be the game changer you didn't know you needed. Sounds counterintuitive, right? But think about it. If you're constantly feeling drained, mentally exhausted, like no matter how hard you work, you're stuck running in place. Maybe the answer isn't in doing more, but in doing less. And that's where the paradox lies. Hey there, I'm Lucius Havenwood, and welcome to the Wellbeing Haven. This is your space, a place where you can let go of all the stress, worries, and fears for a moment. Right now, while you're here with us, I want you to feel completely at ease. Let all those problems drift away, because this is your time to find peace with yourself. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is stop, breathe, and allow yourself to simply be. Trust me, this video is your chance to find that inner calm. So make yourself comfortable and let's dive in. Do you ever feel so drained, like you're running on a treadmill but not getting anywhere? Many people feel this way, and it's more common than you might think. But here's the thing, there's a surprising way out of that exhaustion. Sometimes, the best way to be productive and find motivation isn't by adding more things to your to-do list. It's by stopping. Yes, you heard that right. Stop. The paradox is that by doing nothing, you give your mind the chance to reset, allowing clarity and focus to naturally return. And no, this isn't about being lazy. It's a strategy for handling the mental exhaustion that so many of us carry. Have you ever tried everything to be more productive, only to feel like, by the end of the day, nothing really got done? It's frustrating, isn't it? That's because our minds get overwhelmed with constant information and stimuli. Taking a break, or simply doing nothing, interrupts that cycle. It's like giving your brain the mental rest it craves. And don't think of it as wasting time. In reality, it's a crucial step in restoring your mental health and giving you a fresh perspective. It's honestly one of the best techniques for how to stop procrastinating. When I talk about doing nothing, I'm not saying you should lie on the couch scrolling through social media. No, I'm referring to a mindful state where you disconnect from distractions and allow your mind to flow naturally. This brief period of introspection is incredibly powerful for personal development and self-awareness. It's often in these quiet moments that the best ideas surface, the solutions you've been searching for when your mind was overloaded. Think of it like clearing the soil so new seeds can take root and grow. At first, this idea might feel strange, especially since we've been taught to believe we're only productive when we're constantly in motion. But when you practice intentional pauses, your dopamine levels start to stabilize, and that's when the magic begins. Ideas start flowing again, and motivation reappears in ways you didn't expect. This is the key to unlocking the emotional balance you've been searching for, and it's also how you can start focusing better on your goals. Now, if you think this sounds too theoretical, let me guide you through the process. Imagine setting aside just 10 minutes a day to do nothing. It might sound simple, but this practice requires discipline and focus. You'll quickly notice how this small act of stopping can have a huge impact on your productivity and mental clarity. Curious to see what happens next on this journey? Let's dive in together. Do you ever catch yourself sinking into a spiral of distractions? You sit down with every intention to get something important done, but soon enough, you're scrolling through your phone, flipping through videos, or telling yourself you'll take just a short break before diving back in. Before you even realize it, hours slip by, and the task you needed to do still lingers untouched. It's a familiar feeling, isn't it? This is the cycle of overstimulation at play. In a world that constantly offers us quick dopamine fixes, our brains get conditioned to chase the easy, fleeting rewards, leaving us drained when it comes to the deeper, more meaningful tasks. You know what you need to do, but somehow it feels like you just can't start. Why is that? Our brains become hooked on the immediate bursts of pleasure, whether it's from a new notification, a trending video, or a scroll through social media. Each small hit of dopamine feels good for a second, but over time, it conditions us to prioritize these quick rewards over long-term goals. That's the core of procrastination. It's not just laziness, it's your brain craving the next fix of stimulation. This understanding is crucial. It allows us to see that breaking free from procrastination isn't about pushing harder, but about finding a way to disrupt this cycle and regain control of where we place our focus. Overstimulation steals from us the gift of quiet. In the silence of stillness is where our real power lies. It's in those quiet moments that we restore our ability to focus and think clearly. Think back to the last time you were fully engaged in a task, when time seemed to disappear and you were deeply immersed in what you were doing. That sense of flow, of calm clarity, is the opposite of overstimulation. By practicing mindfulness, by intentionally stepping away from the noise, we give our brains the chance to reset. In this space of stillness, we find the clarity and intention to act on what truly matters. It's here, in the pause, that the seeds of true productivity take root. Our culture tends to celebrate busyness, making it hard to step away from the endless hum of distractions. Everywhere we turn, something begs for our attention. Emails, notifications, endless streams of content. But what if I told you that by stepping back, by choosing quiet, you could reset your mind's craving for constant dopamine? The tasks that once felt overwhelming begin to shrink in size. Suddenly, it's as if you're stepping out of a chaotic, crowded room into a peaceful space where you can hear your own thoughts again. It's in this calm that you find your power to act, to focus, and to start. Breaking free from this cycle isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. The next time you feel that pull to procrastinate, stop for a moment. Don't judge yourself. Just pause. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and allow yourself to sit in the stillness. Yes, it might feel unfamiliar at first, even uncomfortable, but that's the beginning of change. Over time, these small moments of stillness will break the cycle of distraction. By intentionally creating moments of quiet, you give your brain the space it needs to reset, and from that calm, you'll find the motivation to return to what really matters. The real power of mindfulness is not just in calming the mind, but in reclaiming control over the way you live your life. It feels almost counterintuitive, doesn't it? The idea that by doing absolutely nothing, you can find the clarity you've been searching for. At first, it's difficult. Your mind races, the urge to grab your phone nags at you, and the silence can be overwhelming. But in that very discomfort lies the key to transformation. When you allow yourself to stop completely, something powerful begins to unfold. It's not easy. Many of us are so used to the constant noise and stimulation that stillness feels like a luxury we can't afford. But when I finally embraced the practice of doing nothing, I discovered something surprising. A quiet space where motivation and clarity naturally resurfaced. This process, though simple, allows your mind to recalibrate in ways that working harder often can't achieve. We've all experienced that moment, when you're pushing yourself to be productive, yet you feel more and more drained. It's frustrating, isn't it? But here's the thing. Sometimes the solution isn't about doing more. It's about stepping back, letting go, and giving your mind the space it needs to breathe. In doing nothing, you're not being lazy. You're creating the conditions for a mental detox, one that refreshes your focus and brings a sense of balance back into your life, without you even realizing it at first. At first, the stillness can feel almost impossible to tolerate, but after a few minutes, something begins to shift. The noise in your mind starts to quiet, the urgency to keep moving begins to fade, and slowly, thoughts that once felt clouded become clear again. This is the true magic of doing nothing. It's not about solving every problem in one sitting, but about gaining perspective. When the fog of overstimulation lifts, you'll see the bigger picture, what really matters, and where your energy is best spent. This simple act of stopping is often the most powerful tool for realigning with your goals and values. Patience is key here. Change doesn't happen instantly, but with each moment of intentional stillness, you create more space for insight and clarity to emerge. Think of it like a jar of water with sediment. When you let it sit undisturbed, the sediment settles and the water becomes clear. The same happens in your mind. The more you embrace these pauses, the more you'll notice that the stillness offers answers and direction you've been too busy to hear. Doing nothing is not wasted time. It's a path to reconnecting with your inner clarity. So how do you start? It's simple. Just 5 minutes a day. Find a quiet space, set aside your distractions, and let yourself sit. Don't try to control your thoughts or make them stop. Just let them come and go. With time, you'll find that this practice becomes a refuge, a space where calm and clarity naturally return. It's not about perfection. It's about allowing yourself the freedom to pause. And in that pause, you may find the breakthrough you didn't even know you were looking for. At first, the idea of pausing might seem counterintuitive, especially in a culture that celebrates constant activity. But the truth is, the intentional pause is not just a break, it's a powerful tool. High performers in every field, from athletes to business leaders, know the value of stepping back. It's not a luxury, it's essential. When you pause intentionally, you're not just stopping, you're giving your mind the space it needs to reset, refocus, and reconnect with what truly matters. It's often in these quiet moments that the most meaningful breakthroughs happen, when the mind is finally allowed to breathe. Psychological research shows us that taking intentional breaks boosts cognitive performance. When you pause, your brain activates the default mode network, which helps process emotions, make sense of experiences, and even plan for the future. So when you think you're doing nothing, your brain is actually hard at work, behind the scenes, solving problems and connecting ideas. That's why some of your best thoughts come during a walk or in the shower. Those are the moments when your brain has the freedom to piece things together. Consider how top athletes manage their recovery. They know that rest is just as important as training. The body needs time to recover and grow stronger, and the same goes for the mind. Constant activity leads to mental fatigue, which drains your creativity and focus. By stepping back, you allow yourself to return with greater clarity and strength. This is why executives and creatives also make time for reflection. They know that stepping away from the grind isn't a sign of weakness, but a strategy for long-term success. It's a way of tapping into deeper insights that constant busyness doesn't allow. For many of us, though, the idea of stopping feels uncomfortable. We've been taught to measure productivity by how much we do, so stepping away can feel like we're wasting time. But here's the shift. When you start to see the pause as part of your process, not an interruption, everything changes. Trust that the work is still happening even when you're not actively doing something. In fact, some of the most important work happens in the stillness. It's when you step back and reflect that you see the bigger picture, find solutions, and reignite your focus. How do you bring intentional pauses into your life? Start small. Take a few 5-minute breaks during your day. Step away from your desk, go outside, or simply sit in stillness. These little moments of quiet can make a big difference. Soon you'll find that you return to your work with sharper focus and a renewed sense of purpose. The tasks that once felt overwhelming become manageable. It's in the quiet moments that you rediscover your energy and often the answers you've been searching for. Ready to give it a try? There's something profoundly spiritual about silence. It's not just the absence of noise, it's the presence of something deeper, your true self. In a world that constantly demands your attention, silence offers a rare opportunity to reconnect with the part of you that is often drowned out. It's within this stillness that real transformation begins. For centuries, spiritual traditions have recognized the power of silence, not as an empty space, but as a sanctuary where you can listen to the wisdom within. Sitting in silence is not just about pausing your actions, it's about creating a sacred space for introspection. In those quiet moments, you can hear your thoughts more clearly, understand your emotions, and connect with a deeper sense of purpose. Spiritual practices like meditation, prayer, and mindfulness all emphasize the importance of this stillness. It's in this silence that your intuition speaks louder, guiding you toward clarity. As the external noise fades, what's left is your inner voice, the one that knows what you truly need. Silence is more than a break. It's a form of spiritual recalibration. Just as your body needs rest to recover, your soul needs quiet to realign. By practicing intentional silence, you create space to reflect on what truly matters. This is not about disconnecting from life, it's about engaging with it more fully. In silence, you gain the clarity to make decisions from a place of alignment with your true self. You're not reacting to the chaos around you, but responding from a place of deep inner knowing. You don't need to retreat to a mountain or spend hours meditating to experience this. Start small, with just a few minutes of silence each day. Find a quiet corner or take a walk in nature. During these moments, resist the urge to fill the silence with thoughts or activities. Just be. With time, you'll come to cherish these moments of stillness as they become a source of peace and insight. It's in this quiet space that you reconnect with what truly brings you joy and rediscover your sense of purpose. The beauty of silence is that it transforms both mind and spirit. In these quiet moments, you'll find the answers to questions you didn't even know you were asking. You'll feel lighter, more centered, and more in tune with the world around you. So, are you ready to embrace the silence? What might you discover when you allow yourself to just be? Now that we've explored the power of silence and intentional pauses, let's dive into how you can bring these practices into your life in a meaningful way. Don't worry, it's not about making drastic changes overnight. Instead, it's about weaving small, mindful moments into your routine, moments that will begin to shift how you feel, think, and engage with the world around you. One simple yet powerful way to start is by setting aside just 5 minutes a day to do nothing. Yes, only 5 minutes where you sit in stillness, free from distractions. No phone, no notifications, just you and the quiet. At first, this might feel strange. Our minds are so used to constant stimulation that doing nothing can feel uncomfortable. But here's the beauty. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. The key is to be consistent. Like building any other habit, starting small allows you to grow without feeling overwhelmed. These short moments of stillness begin to clear the mental fog and offer a sense of calm and focus that stays with you throughout the day. It's in these pauses that you'll start to notice subtle shifts, not only in your thinking, but in how you approach your day, how you interact with others, and even how you feel within yourself. For those ready to take it a step further, why not try a 24-hour no-tech day? It's a powerful way to reset your relationship with technology and create real space for reflection. This doesn't mean sitting in silence all day. It's about stepping away from digital distractions and immersing yourself in the present moment. Spend the day doing activities that connect you with yourself or with the world around you. Take a walk in nature, journal, or simply enjoy the stillness. You'll be surprised at the clarity and peace that come when you're not constantly plugged into the digital noise. Mindfulness doesn't need to be a grand event. You can integrate it into your busiest moments. Take a mindful breath before responding to an email, or pause for a few seconds to truly observe your surroundings during a walk. These small acts of mindfulness ground you in the present and have a ripple effect on your mental state. They reduce stress, sharpen your focus, and increase your overall sense of well-being. Over time, you'll notice that these simple practices make you more aware of your emotions, more in tune with your thoughts, and even more productive without feeling rushed. This journey is deeply personal. There's no right or wrong way to embrace mindfulness and stillness. It's about finding what resonates with you. Experiment with different practices and discover what brings you peace and clarity. So, what will be your first step? Will you start with 5 minutes of quiet reflection or commit to a full day of mindful disconnection? Either way, remember, every moment of intentional pause is a step closer to connecting with your most authentic self. And that's a journey. You've already taken an important step by reflecting on these practices, and that in itself shows your commitment to making positive changes in your life. But let's go deeper for a moment. Imagine waking up every day with a clearer mind, more present in your interactions, and carrying a sense of peace that flows naturally through your day. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's the power of mindful pauses and stillness. They don't just change how you handle tasks. They transform how you experience life at its core. You may have tried many different techniques to boost productivity or reduce stress, but have they truly brought you the calm and clarity you've been searching for? If you're feeling overwhelmed by the constant noise of daily life, it may be time to take a different approach, not by doing more, but by embracing the quiet. Often, the biggest breakthroughs don't come from pushing harder. They come from giving yourself the space to pause, breathe, and truly listen to what your heart and mind need. I invite you now to take action. Not tomorrow, not in a week, but today. Start small, just as we discussed. Give yourself 5 minutes of silence. Let yourself sit with your thoughts without distraction and see what comes up. If it feels good, challenge yourself further by disconnecting for a longer period. The truth is, the rewards of these practices will only unfold if you take that first step. And trust me, it's worth it. You deserve to feel at peace, to feel centered, and to reconnect with yourself in a way that the chaos of life rarely allows. So here's my question for you. Are you ready to embrace this change? Are you willing to give yourself permission to pause, find clarity, and rediscover the stillness within? I encourage you to take this first step right now. Close this video, set a timer for 5 minutes, and just be. Then come back and share your experience with us. I would love to hear how this simple practice begins to shape your life. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any future insights on mindfulness, peace, and personal growth. Let's continue this journey together, one mindful moment at a time.